Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is our weekly check-in, and yes, it's coming like a day late or a day behind usually scheduled, but that's just because we were pretty busy yesterday, and I'll explain that in just a bit. But thanks for joining me tonight, and let's talk about what we did last week. So I had a breakfast and books introductory. That was a nice little. Sat down and had some breakfast last Friday and put out 5 videos on the breakfast and books topic. Right. Ended up having myself a nice toasted egg and cheese sandwich, some coffee, and just really wanted to work towards catching up with putting out material for you guys. So we did 3 graphic novel book reviews and 2 regular books, 2 novels, and it was fun, and I got a lot done that day. But we were able to get those filmed and recorded, edited, and posted before the weekend was up. So that was really great. We also, what day was that? I keep saying we. I should vlog a little bit and include you guys in what I do while I'm out and about, and then it would be a we, right? Yeah. But spent some time at the free library and got a couple of good books. We ended up releasing a free library mini book haul, and I guess we'll probably be doing that a little bit more often, doing, quote unquote, book hauls or book collection videos. Now that I'm in a more fashionable place to be in, I'm starting to build my library. I'm having a place to put books. That's very exciting for me. Everything I had was still doing some unboxing because everything I had was in storage. Got the storage out. Boxes are sitting in the garage. I have a garage. So I'm still in the process of unboxing and collecting a lot of my previously owned books while extending my library for more. So that was good. So we put that video out. If I remember correctly, I think it was three new books. 3 new books. And I was there today and collected 2 more books, actually, from Julian Stockwin. This is Kid and Artemis by Julian Stockwin, and they're part of a series, part of the akin. They're called the kid novels, right? But yeah, so we got 2 new books that we're adding to our library that I would like to get ready into. But I got 3 books from last week, so I'm starting to develop the habit that I did not previously like with collecting books and building this long TBR list. But we're here now. So exciting stuff. Books are just fabulous, right? So what else? The September reading list. We put that out too. There's 5 books on our September reading list. We're still currently on book 2, so there's 3 more. But 2 of those books are graphic novels, so they'll be quick reads. And last week. Also, I've already started buying books. So I'm collecting from the free library. I'm buying books. It's funny because I was at the free library and I was looking at what they had recently added, and there was another young lady there. She was going through the list, and she was actually I've done this myself, which is why I chuckled a little bit. But she was returning books that she had already checked out from the free library from before, and she was handing them back to the clerk, and the clerk was all like, "What? Why?" And it was like, "Yeah, I read them, and I'm finished now, and so I brought them back." And the guy was all like, "Well, it's okay to keep them." And she was all like, "Well, I feel like I'm preventing somebody else from being able to read it." So, and it's funny because I kind of agree. I visit the free library quite often, and I read them and do the review, or prepare to do the review, and I give the book back. Right? I don't normally hold on to them, but I think that there will be an occasion when I find a title that I really liked, I'm probably going to hold on to. I don't know. But they've had quite a few titles there. And some of them are part of a series. And there was another two different titles that was at the free library that were part of a series. One of them looked like it was part of a 7-8 book type series, and I thought that's too many, and I didn't want to get caught up on it and then have trouble finding the rest of the books within the series. So I didn't have an opportunity to research that. So I'm gonna take some time, go back through Goodreads and whatever it is I can find, do my internet search and find out just how frequent these books are, and if I really want to get involved, find out other reviews and find out if I really want to get involved in those series. So that's really, I think, the City of Ember, the Book of Ember, is my first major series. Well, I stand corrected. My second, because the first was the Viking series by Tim Severin. That was a series, and I knew it was a trilogy, and it was great. I enjoyed it. Historical fiction. And I haven't really done that a lot. I like one hitter quitters. You read the book, put it down, move on. But the Book of Ember is officially my second series of getting into and reading. So that's a new area for me. But looking forward to it. It's really good. It's really good. So I did start buying new books. I actually registered online for a thrift book place where I can find books at a thrift cost. But let's be cost effective with this. I'm stepping into an area where I don't want to get out of hand with spending too much money on. Now, there will be an occasion where I'll find a title that I'm going to want to spend some money on, and we'll get into that. But yeah, it's amazing. So one of the things that I did, one of the books, I actually got a couple of them, and I'll be releasing another video. But one of the books that I picked up was the Aesop's Fables. This is not necessarily a collector's edition, but that's a very, very thick volume, right? How many? And the type, the print is tiny. So when it comes to these, there are some, I grew up on Aesop Fables. The tortoise and the hare, the fox and the grapes, the bullfrog, the dog and his bone. There's a few of them in here, but I did not realize that there were so many. So this is something that I'm really excited about, now having it in my collection. So we will be getting into that, and I'll probably be sharing some of those too, because the Aesop Fables all have like an ulterior motive in their stories with all the animals that were involved. They were, character morality. It was a tool to help teach children character building traits. Character building traits. Yeah, character building, character traits improvement. I don't know. Vocabulary is funny. So that was last week. Still was quite busy with the house. It is a new build, but there are still a lot of things that, fortunately, under warranty, that still needed some attention. My yard, for one, they're still digging up my yard. I think they finished with some of the repairs. It just the irrigation was not functioning, so they had to dig up and put some tubing in the ground so that it would drain. And then I had a light fixture in my office. It's not ready to do any filming in, but we'll be doing some filming in there. And I had a light fixture just fall out the ceiling. Didn't know. Just popped out. Was dangling by the wire. Yeah, so I had that going on. And things are starting to settle down, slow down. So we'll get back to more routinely being able to put out more material, more content for you. So, but big thing yesterday, big thing. I had to invite Mama over to enjoy the house. It was the first official visit to the home, and it was my mom. So we had a huge spread. Oh my gosh, I did it out. Cut up some vegetables and some fruit and put it out on trays, and you got to give Mama the red carpet treatment, right? So that's what we did this week. Fortunately, we had an announcement from Kevin Tolles Reads, and because of his announcement, our subscriptions have gone up. So we want to welcome those new members here. I hope that you love the content here, and if you do, please hit the notifications button on there, and it'll let you know when we post more material. And I welcome you guys, and I appreciate Kevin and MJ and so many folks out there that like to help support the community. And so we're gonna follow suit and do the same thing ourselves, right? So we'll do. I'll give you the channel referral at the end of this video. So coffee date with Mom. I normally have them. We normally go out to Starbucks or hit a breakfast restaurant someplace and sit down and have time with Mom. And this particular time we did it here at the house, and it took up all day yesterday. You never rush Mom off. Let her come, let her relax, let her enjoy the house, let her enjoy the company. That was pretty fantabulous. It was. There was that. Subscriptions are up. And so now we are currently reading Super by Jim Lehrer, and it is technically a historical fiction about the super chief, a railroad that traveled halfway across the country routinely back in the days, 1950s. And it was back when, Faye Dunaway, Clark Gable, Cary Grant, and these people were pretty popular. They rode on the Super Chief. And this particular one, actually, Harry Truman was mentioned in the story as well, too. And so the Super is this celebrity train with that encounters a murder on the train. And so historical fiction, real train that used to really exist, real people, and in a historical novel, in a fictional novel. So I've read historical fictions before. My main focus were mainly criminal reads, right? Criminal detective, mystery, but I'm finding the historical fictions a lot more enjoyable than I did previously, and I'm finding out that there's a couple of them that I'm thinking are more mystery or more crime, that actually lean more towards the historical fiction genre. So that's something that's pretty cool for me. It's becoming a lot more prominent in my reading list. So that's pretty cool. Upcoming vids for this next week, which is mainly the weekend, right? We've got, I've had an unboxing, right? We started searching through all of my stuff from storage, and I found my copy of The Call of the Wild by Jack London. So this is such a happy feeling to have this book back into my actual physical, touchable presence. I want to submit an individual video because I found out some more stuff about it. It's a standalone video. So we're going to talk about Call of the Wild in its own separate video that's coming up. Still have quite a few more book reviews to do. They'll probably take place Thursday, Friday, which will get released this weekend. And then I still have yet to do the word Oddities for the London House. The current book that I'm reading, simplistic verbiage. So there's not a lot of word oddities in it. And that's okay because I'm really enjoying this read, The Super. And the previous one before that, The City of Ember, no word oddities in there. Same thing. That's one of the reasons why I'm really enjoying The City of Ember, because it's a very simplistic read, but it's not a simplistic plot, not a simplistic story. So yeah, really good read, really enjoyable. I don't have to worry about getting lost. Sometimes the verbiage, sentence structure, the grammatical structure of a novel can be so lofty that you can lose me. And these last couple of books are not like that. So we've got those coming, and I'm going to do another video about book buying and how my attitude towards and my perspective in book buying is not. I've always enjoyed large libraries. I think I may have mentioned at least a time or two being able to, I do personal protection, and working inside the homes of some of my clients with huge libraries, right? And it's just amazing. I like being around books. I like going to the library and just sitting around, just thumbing through books. Sometimes, not even to read them, just to, because the power of storytelling is the most fascinating thing to me. But books in themselves, and not necessarily what's contained in them, but the books themselves, the structure of a book, the physical composition of a book is a pretty amazing thing to talk about. So I'm changing my perspective as far as considering what might not be, financially wise, as far as spending what I spend my money on. And I usually spend my money on purpose, and books are great for reading, but when I don't have enough folks to share it with, and it's like now I've got folks, and my desire to own a library, right, to own a personal library has grown. And so yes, we are changing my attitude about book buying. So we'll release a video about that as well. So let's talk about Bookish Texas, right? I haven't done this in the last couple of videos, but I want to make sure you guys know that we got a lot of things going on. Now, these are just mainly some special events, some bigger events. I do have a list of book signings events. I have a list of author meet and greets, and stuff like that. But the majority of what I will post on the weekly check-ins are the larger events, non-specific, that are happening in the current week. So we've got 3 events to share with you coming up this weekend. One of them, and I think two of these events are for the entire weekend. The first one is the Texas Word Wrangler Festival. That's going to be in Giddings, Texas. That's going to start the 27th and through that's what Friday and Saturday. And that is in Giddings, Texas, and that is the Texas Word Wrangler Festival. There's going to be a lot of local, not just local, statewide authors come to this event to do readings, recitals, to do signings, to do meet and greets. It's a huge festival, and there's a lot more involved than just that, but it's a pretty big event, and it's in Giddings, Texas, and it's being sponsored by the Giddings Public Library. Same weekend, the whole weekend, the 27th through the 29th, we have the Birdhouse Books Grand Opening. Books and Gifts. It's a bookshop grand opening in Austin, Texas. September 27th is the first day. It's when it starts, and it's going to be through the whole weekend. The Birdhouse Books and Gifts grand opening. And I get the feeling that I've already looked forward to it. And even though they're having their grand opening on the 27th, they've already posted a schedule for upcoming events, starting at the end of the month. And we'll have some more stuff going on, but they'll have a lot of. There's not just a bookshop. They're going to be sponsoring a lot of events. So the Birdhouse Books grand opening in Austin, Texas. That's this weekend, and then here in Fort Worth, Texas, starting on the 28th. That's starting on Saturday. Is the Leaves and Books event. Now that is a local author book fair, right? So that's a book fair. So we've got the book festival coming up in Giddings, a bookshop grand opening, and then a local author book fair. Now the book fair is in Fort Worth, Texas, and it's going to be the Leaves and Books event. Now, these events are going to be easy to find. If you want more additional information, just Google the title, and it'll bring you right to their webpage where you can find out more detailed information. If you don't want to do that, then just post a comment in there. Let me know what you're interested in, and I will send you the blurbs, the detailed blurbs of these possibly local events. Some of them you might want to try. As I get settled into life, you will start seeing me at some of these events because I will start traveling. Texas is huge, but it's fun to be able to, go down to Austin. Austin is about 2-3 hours for me anyway. It's a little longer. Houston is about 4 hours away. San Antonio is about 5-6 hours away, depending on the drive, depending on traffic, and same with heading out west, Lubbock, and what is that? Is it Abilene? I don't know if Abilene is what I'm thinking about. It's up there near Lubbock. The hard ones is when it starts getting out towards El Paso. El Paso is a 9-hour drive from here. So if I have downtime, if I'm taking some time, if the event is big enough, you may see me in El Paso. But San Angelo, Lubbock, they're not too far away. I can get there easily. Springwater, getting out to, and maybe even heading out the other direction into East Texas, out towards Tyler and Longview. Heading south is simple enough because we've got I-35, and 35 is, it's lots of major construction. It's a little easier to drive than it used to be. Okay, and that's our Bookish Texas for this weekend. And now we can talk about our weekly topic. Now, our weekly topic is going to be, how has booktubing affected your reading life? And I want to be honest with you. I've been on BookTube just a couple of months now, right? I started in, what was that? Maybe May. Started in about May, and I'll be honest with you. The first thing that is done, now that I'm booktubing and sharing my booktube experience, my book reading experiences with this community, is it has helped me read more consistently. I would just read on just whenever I felt the urge, and it wasn't very much because I sit at the job a lot, and I do a lot of reading on the job. I work overnight. I am in a static position, do a lot of sitting and standing and waiting for the majority of my shift. And so being able to read isn't a distractance. Distracting? Yeah. Isn't a very, it is a it's not a very distracting distraction. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm able to read while I'm at work, and booktubing has allowed me to be able to think more about reading. I desire to read more. I want to be able to get the reading done and share it with somebody. And so before, I would just read just because, and I wasn't reading very consistently. I mentioned before, I'm a slow reader. I don't feel the need to rush through a book. And so to sit there and say, hey, y'all, I'm going to read 5 books this month is really hard for me, because I don't want to enter into a slump or even get busy at work and am unable to keep up with it. So now I find myself reading more at home. I'm reading more on the go. I keep my books with me. I don't just read just at work anymore. And so it's great. It's not a bad thing for me. Now that I'm booktubing, reading is becoming more of an intricated part of my life. And I read more attentively. So I'm actually able to read more focused. I pay attention to more about what's going on. What am I going to share about this book? What do I like about it? What do I don't like about it? And it has improved my reading experience. So booktubing has caused me to want to be able to read with the idea of being able to verbalize my experience. And so I start paying attention to more of the reaction that I have. I start paying attention to more of how to categorize and how to put into words what the characters are making me experience, what the writer is making me experience. And so more attentive and more focused. And that has been fabulous, because it has enabled me to retain more of what I read. I got a long list on Goodreads of books that I've read that I can't remember. And I do a quick book review show. Now, it's funny too, because when I was doing my book reviews on Goodreads, I would read the book, and shortly after reading the book, I would make sure, let me hurry up and do this quick review real quick, right? And so the review may have been a little rushed at times, but I would hurry up and I would do the review so I can get it done. And then once it was done, forgotten. I did the review, all right, move on, let's go. And so I did not retain a lot of what I've read. And I'll go back and I'll look at that list. I said, I don't remember reading that. And that's why I said about, okay, well, I said it, so it must be true. Must be true. So booktubing has caused me to pay more attention, to read more focused, to read more consistently, right? And be able to retain and remember more of what I've read and how it's made me feel. And that has really, really, really improved on my reading experience. And I'm finding it more and more enjoyable. And I'm looking forward to finding more and more books, and it's becoming more exciting for me. And so Booktube and the Booktube community here on YouTube, you guys have been great, very welcoming. I haven't experienced any hecklers yet. I'm sure that as it expands, I got new subscribers now. The word about my channel might get out. I'm pretty sure I'll end up drawing somebody in that's going to want to say something that's not kind. I haven't had experience with that yet, so I'm fortunate. But it's improved my reading experience, and it also has expanded my reading genres. What I get involved in reading, like graphic novels for one, wasn't big on graphic novels, and as you can see, even though I read more crime novels than anything, you'll see that I've got more graphic novel book reviews up on my playlist than any other titles. And they're fairly easy to get through. They're highly enjoyable, and I can get through them fast enough and get them out and get more content up on the page. But I'm also enjoying them because I came across a couple of other channels that had mentioned them before. I'd considered wanting to, but when I would look at the graphic novel catalogs at the library, they're mostly superhero stuff, and I got real beside myself with all the different. Now that Disney's involved with Marvel, it's crazy how all these different characters are coming out of the woodwork, and I'm not really trying to keep up with that. That's not me, and I just wasn't really big on comic books, and a lot of the graphic novels are more just expanded comic books. So I didn't really want to get into graphic novels, but I actually found something that didn't have anything to do with superheroes, and I'm enjoying it. And so started, let me share this, let me get into this, because I found that there are other people that would like to, that are already in it, and some that are like beginning to show interest in getting into graphic novels. So graphic novels, and all because of wanting to be able to share my experience with booktubers. So booktube has affected that. What else? More historical fiction. Did not really. I want to be able to read more than just to expand my experience. So I'm reading more historical fictions. Really wasn't into that too much because I felt like it was learning. So when I read Tim Severin's Viking, that I don't want to say it was lofty, but there was a lot of craft knowledge. There was a lot of old school pirate sailing, information and knowledge that was in there, and it felt more of Tim Severin's series was a little less than an educational, but historical fiction in itself prior to encountering that Viking series felt more like a lesson than it was an enjoyable book to read. And I never really got into reading to learn. When I got into reading to the point where I wanted to do booktubing and do book reviews, it was an entertaining thing. It was I wanted to get a break from reality, and it just didn't seem to me that the history part is the part that got me. But when you're able to take historical knowledge, historical information, and twist it into a fictional story. So now I'm big on historical fiction, wanting to share that with the crowd. And also I've gotten more into modern and contemporary poetry. I'm like to write poetry. I'm very into poems, but not much into modern day contemporary stuff. I mean, I like to read the old school stuff, Wordsworth, Poe. I read the old school stuff because that seemed more like poetry to me. And the stuff that we get here just seems like people complaining about their emotions and not necessarily trying to express emotion and experience. I don't know if that quite makes sense, but getting involved with other booktubers and being a part of their channel and getting a wider taste of poetry has expanded my desire to want to read more modern day, more contemporary poetry, and to see how it would or would not affect my own personal writing. So that's, I guess, 4 or 5 different points on how booktubing has affected my reading life. This video has gotten long enough. I want to thank you for visiting with us today. Albert the Conjugator. So Albert over at Albert the Conjugator, his tag is going to be in there. A wonderful demeanor. This individual is fairly new to booktubing, but I like his take. I like his presentation. And we are going to refer him on our weekly referral for channel referrals. Go on over there, check him out. If you like his page, hit him up with the subscriptions, hit him up with the notifications so he does post. He does communicate. He will respond to you. And that's one of the things that I really like about making these channel referrals. They will be referrals with folks that are not just actively posting, but more so actively involved with the community as well. So go on over there and check him out. Albert the Conjugator, wonderful material, wonderful individual in his presentation. I like it. And he is our referral for this week. Well, with that being said, we want to thank you for joining us, and we hope that you have a wonderful week, and stay tuned for all these upcoming videos that we've got coming. All right? You guys have a wonderful day, and remember, keep reading.